Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Wednesday, middle of the week. And as such, we have Bitcoin being down right now. Ethereum was down, markets were down. Bitcoin miners were down for the most part. We got a couple of stories to cover as well. Powell spoke at a European conference, I believe it was. And then we also have some Sphere 3D news and MicroStrategy news. So it's going to be pretty quick, maybe 10, 12 minutes for a video. But as always, you guys know the drill here. This is not financial advice, for intent only. Please do your own research. And I'm invested in following coins and companies for full disclosure, as always. And as always, if you guys enjoy this type of video, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out. So let's take a look at the markets right now, see what's going on with those. So with the markets were down today. S&P was down a little bit, down 0.04%. Dow Jones was down 0.22%. NASDAQ was down 0.48%. Bitcoin was down today quite a bit here. It was, well, quite a bit. It was down 2.03%. It closed at $30,074.94. There are some good signs and there's some bad signs also depending on the time frame that you're looking at. Looking at the daily time frame, you can see here that Bitcoin basically let me zoom in on this. You can see that we're pretty close to where we were back on Wednesday of last week. At that time, the RSI was approximately at 71. The RSI today was approximately at 64. RSI is going down, Bitcoin price is flat. That's usually a pretty good sign there. Same thing for the 4-hour chart. We can look at it here. We can see that the RSI has been coming down on it. And we can see here that, let's see here, where's the price of Bitcoin? When it finished out the day today, it was basically here. At that point, Bitcoin was also roughly right around here. Bitcoin, the RSI peaked at that point here on Wednesday as well. And we were at the same spot that we were last week, with the price being at the same spot, but the RSI has come down quite nicely. So that leads me to believe we have a little bit more room to run up, possibly. But on the 1-hour chart, the 1-hour chart is the only one that's kind of giving me a little grief here right now. If we look at the peaks on this one, we can see here that we were back here just a couple hours ago, and a couple hours before that, price was higher. At that point, if we also look at the valleys here, we can see that Bitcoin at that point between these two valleys was higher in price as well. There's a couple maybe other ones that we can possibly take a look at, see if we go back a little bit further. We can see here that at this time frame, Bitcoin is actually lower. So it seems like within the last 24, 48 hours or so, Bitcoin has turned, at least on the 1-hour chart, a little bit more bearish than on the other charts. So we'll see how this goes forward. Right now, with the news coming out, slowing down with the news on the Bitcoin ETFs, I'm thinking that price may pull back a little bit. We'll see if that happens. If that does happen, then we're probably going back down to roughly our resistance or our support is going to be at the 28,600 line here. We'll see if that holds. If that doesn't hold, then we're possibly going down lower, which could be somewhere in between our daily moving averages. So our daily lines, the 20-day moving average is the yellow line, the 50-day is the teal line, and then our 200 weekly is the red line here. So we might be getting support somewhere around there, but we'll see, okay? Now, as far as Ethereum is concerned, Ethereum was also down today. It was down approximately 3.3%, closed at 1,827, and it is acting the same way as Bitcoin right now is, so we'll see how that goes. Miners were down for the most part, with the exception of a couple. Any was down 1.69% on the day. Argo and Any actually had a split today. We'll talk about that. Argo was down 11.24% today. BitDigital was down 0.22%. BitDeer was down 0.66%. Bitfarms was down 2.7%. Cypher was flat. CleanSpark was down 4.94%. Cores was up actually 3.5%. I mean, Cores has been on a really nice rally here. Regardless of where Bitcoin goes, Cores is just going up. The last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, possibly, well, you could include 9. So 9 trading days has been going up on a rally here, which is kind of nice to see. DigiHost was down 1.71%. We got DMG was down 4.33%. Greenidge was down 7.25%. Hive was up 2.53%. Hive has also had a pretty nice rally here also recently, with the exception of one day on Monday where it was down. But it was up probably the same, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 11 days out of the last 12 has been going in the green. Hut 8, same thing. Similar situation here, which is kind of strange. Both of these guys are Canadian miners. That one was up today 3.38%. Irish Energy was down 2.23%. Marathon was down 1.64%. Mawson was down 4.59%. Riot was down 0.94%. Soluna was down 5.25%. Stronghold was down 2.23%. And TerraWolf was down 5.46%. So there's the miners. Let's take a look at the network hash rate really quick. See what's going on there, if we have any changes. And we're still at, on the 7-day average right now, it's at 359 million terahashes. And on the 1-day, we are at, oh wow, we just dropped quite a bit here. What happened here? 280 million terahashes. That's a sizable drop. That's even lower than we were back here, back in on May 4th. So that's almost 2 months ago that we dropped that low. Not sure what's going on here, whether it's the heat, the summer heat that's contributing to this, where miners are unplugging miners because of the heat. But we'll see. So that's kind of interesting that that went down that far. Okay, so first story that we have here is on Fed. So obviously Powell spoke, I believe it was in somewhere in Europe, but he won't take 2 consecutive rate hikes off the table yet. He's still looking for more information on the data for the economy. And here's what he had to say. So Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said Wednesday that there is still a risk of doing too little to bring down inflation, noting that he wouldn't take hiking interest rates at 2 consecutive policy meetings off the table. When asked during the panel at the European Central Bank Forum on central banking whether the Fed would proceed to raise rates every other meeting, Powell said, "We have not made a decision to go to that. It may work out that way. It may not work out that way. But I wouldn't take, moving at consecutive meetings off the table at all." So it all really depends on the data that he sees going forward. And here's what he's really looking for. So if you look at the data over the last quarter, what you see is stronger than expected growth, a tighter than expected labor market, and higher than expected inflation, said Powell. So that tells us that although the policy is restrictive, it may not be restrictive enough, and it has not been restrictive for long enough. So it looks like there is a possibility, obviously, that they might raise interest rates for another two times. And the main thing is, Powell says the job market is really pulling the economy with strong wage gains that drive spending and demand. Okay, so he obviously wants the labor market to come down a little bit more or get a little less heated. More people get laid off, then hopefully the wages will kind of stabilize a little bit, and then hopefully that will help the economy cool off a little bit as well. So we'll see. We'll see how this is going to go forward. But this could obviously have an impact on Bitcoin, the miners as well, and everything else if we get more interest rates hikes going forward. Okay, something to be mindful of. Next is Michael Saylor. So Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy now holds over 4.6 billion worth of Bitcoin. They went on another buying spree here. So the firm bought over 12,000 Bitcoins for 347 million in the last 2 months. They have obviously contributed to the increase in Bitcoin value as well, depending on which way they're buying it. If they're buying it over the counter, maybe not so much. But if they're buying it with regular exchanges, then this would definitely help Bitcoin value go up. So Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy bought 12,333 Bitcoin for 347 million in cash between April 29th and June 27th, the company said on Wednesday. With the most recent purchase, MicroStrategy now holds 152,333 Bitcoin worth over 4.6 billion at current prices. So what does that actually mean if Bitcoin goes up in value? So if Bitcoin goes up to 50,000 in value, their value for what their HODL is going to be 7.6 billion at 100K for Bitcoin. Their HODL value is going to be 15.2 billion at 150,000 per Bitcoin. You're looking at 22.8 billion. And I'm looking to, with the next halving event, the next bull run, I'm looking between 150 to 200,000 for Bitcoin to get somewhere between that range. We'll see if that happens. But at 200,000 for Bitcoin, they would have $30.4 billion worth of HODL in their balance sheet. You can take that, divide that by the number of shares. You can come up with a relatively easy number to come up with what the stock price could possibly be. Right? They are a very, very large proxy for Bitcoin. They're obviously the largest owner of Bitcoin on their HODL, on their balance sheet for any public traded company. So they are a proxy for it. They do go up with Bitcoin. They do come down with Bitcoin. But however, we do not see MicroStrategy being as a leveraged play on Bitcoin against Bitcoin as we have seen with the miners. The miners are more of a leveraged play, I believe, than MicroStrategy is right now. Even though MicroStrategy does perform a little bit better than Bitcoin sometimes, it is not like a 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x better than Bitcoin as far as percentage increases go from month, well, for over a period of time. Okay, so something to be mindful there. Thought this was great with them buying some more, and it's definitely going to pay out well for them. If Bitcoin goes to 150,000, 200,000, whatever it might be, somewhere between there, it's going to be a lot of cash for them. Wish I had that kind of stack right now. Okay, but we don't, so we continue talking about what's going on here. So Sphere 3D completes 147 share consolidation. This is for them to regain compliance with NASDAQ listing requirements. This will definitely help them. They're at, what were they at? They were at 20 some cents. Where were they? Annie was at 30 cents. 30 cents, so 7 times that. They're going to be at around $2.10 come tomorrow, I believe. We'll see how that does going forward. As we know, well, Sphere has had issues over the past year, especially last year. They were stuck at 100 petahash for a long time. Going into this year, they've done a little bit better as far as growth is concerned. We'll see how they can continue to execute going forward. If they don't continue to execute going forward, the stock price might continue to go down. They are lagging Bitcoin as far as gains this year. Bitcoin's up almost 80%. They're only up, I can't remember now, less than that. I know they're less than Bitcoin right now. So they are underperforming Bitcoin as it is already. Okay, so that's it. Quick news update for you guys today. Not much going on with the miners. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoy your Wednesday evening. It's going to be out late. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye.